Hey everyone, I am the Chosen One Legend here, as always joined by my co-host,
Hi, I'm Kye, also known as Fascurreyn.
and welcome back to the BunchaJokahs podcast, where we're here to talk about a very special anniversary. Not the BunchaJokahs anniversary, though that is coming up soon.
Sure.
Rather, it is the 10-year anniversary of the Nintendo 3DS. This month in Europe, last month in Japan. But, damn, 10 years.
It's a long time, and that's weird for the 3DS.
It really is. I don't want to say it makes me feel old because I know some people slightly older than me in our community who will threaten me with gardening equipment for calling myself old. But let's instead say it's just been a long time. And that 10 years has gone by really, really quick. I mean, when I think about 10 years, I was 12 10 years ago, so it's a lot has definitely changed. But
Yeah, it feels
suffice
a
to
little
say,
closer to it feels a
oh,
little closer to the anniversary of something like the GameCube or something. I'm still feeling like that's the case.
yeah,
The 3DS though, like not even the regular DS, the actual 3DS, that's crazy. That's
exactly. I mean, it still feels, despite the fact that we're on the Switch now, it still feels kind of new, and maybe that's because we never got a successor. That was the end of the purely handheld line.
yeah.
So it was the
Well,
last exclusive
2DS, but
handheld, which is
2DS doesn't count.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's the same thing, Kai.
It basically is.
Oh man. But suffice to say, we are, of course, both big Nintendo fans, and we are both big fans of the 3DS. So we're here to pretty much talk about just our memories of the system, some of our favourite games, and how we got into it. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. We won't have any timestamps or specific sections. We're just going to talk through our memories in whatever way they come up. And of course, if you have any particular favourite memories of the 3DS or your favourite games, do feel free to leave those in the comments below because we would be interested to see what your memories are too. But let's just get things cracking now. And Kai, could you tell us what was your introduction to the 3DS?
So my introduction was to the 3DS is that I already had like a couple DSs before that, and I was pretty hyped to see the
Hmm.
3DS. Like the actual 3D feature, I was like, yeah, I guess it's cool, but I was just looking forward to seeing that the DS was gonna have more to it at this point. It's gonna keep going, have more
Hmm.
games on it. So I got my first 3DS, which was like a platinum. What's it called? Like a blue one. I forget the name for it.
Aqua Blue, is it? That's the same one I have.
Maybe. It's like one of the
Yeah.
shiny ones.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
same one, yeah.
yeah, and I got one of those around release day. I got a couple different games on it, and yeah, it was just really enjoyable. To be fair, I kind of just felt it like it was an upgrade from the DS, and it was just going to keep continuing on. I
Yeah.
eventually got a new Nintendo 3DS XL
Uh-huh.
um, for purely for a certain game, which we'll probably end up talking about. And that was back in like 2015 afterwards. But overall, like I still play my 3DS to this day. I'm literally playing on it like right now, so it's open. So yeah, it's been a good ride.
Right, because for me, my introduction to the system similarly was at launch. Actually, I wasn't at the time. I wasn't really in the Nintendo sphere, so I didn't follow game launches and new consoles. But a friend of mine was really obsessed with the 3DS that was coming out, and he kept going on about it until he managed to wear me down. And I told my mum about it, and I wasn't really expecting much, but then she sort of surprised me and pre-ordered it for me as an early birthday present because my birthday's in April. So me and my friend, we met up on the launch day. We got together, unboxed our consoles. We played Face Raiders and Pilot Rings. The launch wasn't very great. It it
What
it
a
took a
game!
bit for. I know, right? I played Face Raiders the other day. I was like, oh god, this sucks. It's so bad. But I enjoyed it at the time. It was fun, and I was just hyped. Like you said, it's a big step up from the DS, really, as a successor to that. In that, just not beyond the 3D, just the visual upgrade and the power upgrade was relatively significant. So yeah, it blew me away at the time, and then it only got better as time went on, and there was a price drop, and big games started to come out for it. and it's no wonder why it's looked back on so fondly now. But before we talk sort of the specifics of some of the games, I want to talk a bit about the system itself. And first off, Kye, Street Pass. You have any big memories of Street Pass?
I used Street Pass a little bit. I wasn't like too into using it because I didn't really know anyone else who had a 3DS. But I will say I really enjoyed the little mini games you had on there, like the picture collecting and the I forget the name of it, but the quest one where you fight against the ghosts.
I think it's just called Street Pass Quest.
Oh, it is actually just called that. Okay, yeah,
I think so.
that was really fun most of the time, except for when I couldn't get past that one room because it's like I had the wrong colour. But apart from that, it was really fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It was definitely a neat idea, and I if I went to my own town, I would be lucky if I got like one Street Pass. It wasn't it was never really big, but there was one time I went to the Zelda concert in London, and I think I got like 120 Street Passes in that one day. It was amazing. It was like the first time I ever got more than 2 Street Passes in a session, and that was fun. I was like, give me the puzzles, man. I'm filling all of these out. I never did fill them all out, but it felt great. I have heard some people wishing they had something like it in the Switch, but let's be real, the Switch isn't quite as portable as the 3DS. So
not exactly.
You can't. I mean, you could technically put a Switch in your pocket, but I would be nervous about scratching up that screen. So
yeah,
or it falling out. But Street Pass was great, and I think maybe we should actually touch upon the 3D itself. And what did you think of it? Did you use the 3D much, or did you see it as more of a silly novelty you turned off?
Yeah, I very, very rarely used it, just because for every game that had the 3D functionality, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go for 5 minutes, and I was never really about it. It was always just a bit like, it's cool, I guess, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna use that at all. So yeah, it was cool, I guess, but not for me.
There was a gradual change. I think you could sense how I age with how I used the 3D. Because at the start, I was like, yes, this is awesome. I'm turning it on all the time. I played, Pilot of Rings, Ocarina of Time 3D with the 3D on most 90% of the time, turned all the way up. Then as I got older, I started to use it less and less, and I went back to it like last year to play some Kid Icarus, and I was like, I'm too old for this shit. Nope, turning it off now. My eyes they can't handle it anymore. But there were some cool uses of it. I think some particular games did take advantage of it. We saw things like 3D Land did some clever puzzles with it, and even things like the AR, which came at launch with the 3DS, which was kind of some dumb fun. There were some good uses of it, and I'm glad it's there. But I'm not missing it on the Switch, for example. I think if they port over Ocarina of Time 3D onto the Switch, I'm not going to be sad that it's not 3D anymore.
Yeah, I feel like making games deluxe editions is definitely a step up from making them 3D editions. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But that's probably a perfect time to segue onto talking about some games, man, because there are a lot of games on the 3DS, and I think one of my first big ones I got into, one of the big early ones, was Ocarina of Time 3D. I'm guessing you played this, Kye.
Actually, I've never played it, no.
You haven't? Oh,
I've
man!
never played Ocarina of Time.
Majora's Mask 3D?
No. I've played like none of the traditional Zelda games.
Okay, so audience, if any of you want to join me as a new co-host, I'll be holding auditions soon, because Kye is banned.
Okay. All right.
I guess I can take it from here then, because
Go for
Ocarina of Time 3D was a huge game for me. It was my first ever Zelda game that I played, and before that I'd only I played Smash Bros. Brawl back on the Wii, which was sort of my big introduction to the wider world of Nintendo, I guess, outside of Mario. And I sort of saw these characters like Link. I always thought he looked badass. He's got a sword. I like swords, yeah, but didn't know much about him. Then comes when I'm got the 3DS, I'm reading the official Nintendo magazine because I'm cool like that, you know how I be.
Gangster.
And and they're just talking about Ocarina of Time coming out, which is meant to be like the best game ever. I was like, hey, I recognise the green guy, so I tried it out, and damn, it's great. Like even though it was 15 years old at that point or something like that, it was insane to me. I blew me away immediately, and I'd never played a game like it. Before that, I'd only played crappy movie tie-in games like Chicken Little, the good stuff, and and some like platformers like Mario. But I hadn't played an adventure game, so it held up remarkably well. Not to mention the improvements beyond just the graphics and the 3D, which was decent, but gyro aiming for using the bow was a big improvement. I mean, that's sort of become a standard in Nintendo games nowadays, gyro controls, and Ocarina of Time 3D was really where it started. So all in all, it is by far the definitive way to play this game. I would say if you ever see a copy, Kye, it's worth picking up, but hopefully they'll bring it to the Switch for the anniversary this year. So
that would be nice.
That would be something worth holding out for. I don't know, do you have any interest in trying out Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask?
Yeah, I'd be interested in giving them a go. I just never really got around to trying them, but I'm always down for seeing how they are, yeah.
Absolutely, but why don't you go for a game then? I don't want to say another one in case you haven't played it again. So give me a favourite game of yours.
Well, if you're talking a favourite, of course it's tradition for the podcast at this point.
Oh, I know.
The reason I bought the new 3DS XL back in 2015 was to play Xenoblade 3D, because that was the first time I'd played the first Xenoblade. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of criticism for that version of the game, and I completely get it because the graphics are horrific. But regardless of that, I still really enjoyed the game. I've 100%ed it on there, which was painful, but still, it's my favourite game still. So
that is some dedication.
Yeah, it's like if I can enjoy Xenoblade when it is on the 3DS, then I can enjoy it on anything. So,
exactly. I mean, Definitive Edition is a step up from that, isn't it? So going from one to the other, but
yeah. But no, it's still really fun. I really enjoyed it. The C-stick to move the camera was an interesting idea. I didn't like it at first because it hurt my thumb, but in the end, I kind of just got used to it, and I was kind of cool with it at the end. So, yeah, God. But no, Xenoblade 3D was definitely a top one for me. It's the game I've got the most playtime hours on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you. I got the new 3DS. I just the normal one, not the XL. I wanted those cheeky faceplates, but but I got the Majora's Mask run at the moment on. But I mostly got it because I wanted to try Xenoblade out. Of course, it was Shulk was in Smash at that time, and Chugga Conroy was playing it through, and I didn't watch his playthrough because I didn't want to be spoiled, but the amount he praised it was enough to make me to want to try out Xenoblade. So I got it and I tried it, and I don't care if it's on the 3DS, it's still a fantastic game. And even though, like you said, it doesn't look great technically, it still blew me away my first time standing out into Gara Plains, I hadn't played a game with an expansive world quite like that before at the time. And even with, yes, sure, everything's pixely, but the level design, the world design holds up even on the 3DS. And the 3D effect actually is kind of nice. It's more subtle, but I think it was impressive that they got it at all 3D, given the fact it's that big a game on the 3DS. So
yeah,
that's some technical wizardry going on right there.
I mean, we could go on for hours about Xenoblade, though. That's and we have at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's just what this podcast is. We are called BunchaJokahs after all, but one thing I do quickly want to mention is also just the novelty of having this big a game in handheld. And we sort of take that for granted now with the Switch and how we can have Xenoblade Definitive Edition in handheld, but that was still big at the time for me, and I used to take my 3DS to sixth form, which is, if you're American, that's kind of like late school, I guess. But I was in the common room and I was just grinding levels on my 3DS. You couldn't do that with the Wii version at the time. So it was handy feature to have. But enough about Xenoblade, Kai. Have you got any other games you wanna bring up?
Well, I have thought of one that I know we've both played against each
Nintendogs
other
and
even.
Cats. Oh,
Not Nintendogs and Cats.
I haven't actually played that.
A very similar game. Smash 3DS.
Yes.
Smash Bros. 4. The 3DS edition, of course, came out before the Wii U version, like 6 months before. And,
It was only like 2 months before.
Oh, was it only 2 months? Damn.
Yeah, it was like October to December or something. But
Oh, of course, yeah, because it was meant to be summer and it didn't. Yeah.
yeah.
And I've actually got way more hours on Smash 3DS than I have on Wii U.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've played 3DS version like a ton. It's a huge amount back in the day. I used to what I did, I remember, is I got every single character and I tried fighting with every single matchup that could exist in 1v1s. And I got like halfway through.
Imagine doing that with Ultimate. I mean, man.
That would be crazy, yeah. But that was a really fun one for me to do, and I just used to like play, regular sort of free stock against a CPU 1v1, like Omega stages and that. I just did that like all the time, non-stop. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much.
I mean, of course, with Smash, the Wii U version, even beyond it coming out a little afterwards, the Wii U version may have been ultimately, the more powerful version, the better looking version. But we can't understate, the 3DS being portable, how cool that was. And I was just saying about Xenoblade, which you may have not heard because Discord was being weird. But, having it portable is really a big deal. We take it for granted with the Switch, but I could take Smash and play it in the common room or play it just sitting in the living room rather than up in my room. It's
Right.
It definitely allowed you to play it in more ways. And of course, we've got to mention Smash Run, which is not on the Wii U version and was so much better than Smash Tour. Did you play Smash Run much?
I played it a fair bit. I did enjoy it quite a lot. Like, proportionate to my 1v1 matches, not as much, but I still played it a ton. I really enjoyed the system of it, like, going around the map, fighting enemies, getting, like, stat buffs. I liked a couple of the different, like, matches at the end that you do, like the race to the finish. I don't know why they haven't brought that back, because I so like the idea of both Smash Run and the, like, bits at the end. But they were great. They were great fun.
They were, yeah, and it was just neat having Smash in handheld for the first time. I'd always wanted that back when I was playing Brawl, like 3DS version. And some people do begrudge the 3DS version because it did hold back the Wii U version with how simultaneous they were, such as the mournful loss of Ice Climbers for a while. But I think it was a worthy trade-off to have these two versions of the game where you could just play. You want the big screen experience, you got it. You want the small screen, you got it before the Switch. So, and we've actually talked. These are my 3 most played games. I've got Smash Bros is at 123 hours, Xenoblade is at 175, and somehow Ocarina of Time is 195. That's not a long game. I don't know. I don't know how I've spent that many hours in Ocarina of Time, but somehow I made it happen. But I mean, we've talked for a while about the 3DS, but we haven't mentioned the big boy, Mario. Did you play Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS?
I did. I played it a fair bit. It was good. I don't think it is probably actually one of the worst Mario Kart games in my opinion, but I still played it a fair bit. It was
I think
alright.
It's not that it's bad. It's probably just more so one of the most bland Mario Karts. I think the best way to sum it up is you look at its roster, and they've got like Queen Honeybee from Mario Galaxy.
Honeybee. Oh yeah. Honestly,
I can
what I feel like
sense it.
they did is they took. There's one game in Mario Party 8 where there's like a cycling game, and they have like 50 of these really random characters, and I feel like they just handpicked those completely random. Like Wiggler, oh yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't take this approach for Smash DLC, but
yeah.
I mean, we've got Piranha
Plant exists,
yeah.
But apart from that, yeah.
But it was still a fun way to play it. And introduce some stuff like the gliding and underwater sections were cool. The Woohoo Island levels, really great. I love those courses. I missed those on the Switch version of Mario Kart 8, but
right.
Yeah, not revolutionary, but still a fun, solid entry. And did you play any other Mario games on the 3DS, like 3D Land, for example?
Yes, I got 3D Land. I loved that game. That was great.
It's great, yeah. I
It's a really good step in the right direction to end up making what would end up being 3D World for the Wii U and now the Switch. So it's really good start.
Yeah, the combination of 3D sort of environments and 2D level structure, it's quite an interesting way of approaching it, and it fits perfectly on a handheld system. And
Right.
I mean, I don't own the game. I borrowed it from a friend, and I beat it over one weekend where I just binged it completely. So I haven't played it in like since like must be 7 years ago or whatever. I don't know when it came out, but
Damn.
yeah, I had a good time with it, and I should get it sometime. Maybe if I see it secondhand someday. But any other particular games you got there, Kai?
I suppose there's like a two-part series worth talking about, because it has had recent news on the Switch too. Tomodachi Life and Miitopia.
Right.
It's sort of a continuation type thing.
I haven't played these, so this is your domain. This is take it away,
Yeah,
Kai.
so for the uninitiated, Tomodachi Life is kind of like it's hard to describe. It's not like really a game you play. It's like a Sims type thing where you make Miis and they interact with each other, like a really wacky version of Sims. And that was really fun because you can just throw in your mates, you can throw in like random characters. There was a lot to do in it that I really enjoyed, especially the musicals event that happened.
I've seen the memes. I have seen the memes.
Yeah, they were. I loved those.
Look,
But then even yeah.
I was just gonna say I'm kind of sad I missed out on this game because it looked great the moment I saw them worshipping the Virtual Boy. I was like, man, I need this. So it's got a lot, it seems it's got a lot of charm to it, I guess.
It's like a crack cocaine type sort of randomness to it, and I'm kind of cool with that because it's fun.
Yeah.
But then going on from that, they ended up making Miitopia, and what a good game Miitopia is. It's got like the randomness of Tomodachi Life, but it's an RPG. You have different like genuine classes. You've got like all your stats, all this sort of thing. It's such a And the thing is, it's not even like it's just a bland thing with wacky elements. It's a genuinely well-made RPG as well. Like the gameplay is nice. So
I mean, nice enough they're bringing it to the Switch, so
exactly, like they're bringing it to the Switch. There's updated things in it now because apparently you can like ride a horse and stuff. And
yeah.
I recommend it to anyone who's interested in getting like a fun, relaxing RPG because it's so good. It's such a fun one to play.
I did play a bit of the demo, and I did have a fun time with it. Of course, I made SpongeBob the evil demon king, or whatever. So,
Oh no.
can you just hear my dog revving in like a motorbike in the background?
I cannot. Oh yeah, I can. Oh,
Come on,
that'll do
dog! I think we're safe for now. What were we talking about?
it. Miitopia?
Did we finish talking about Miitopia?
Pretty much.
Alright, well then, Kai.
Yeah.
She loves to intrude. Nintendogs and cats, like we were saying, right?
Oh, God.
But we skipped over a few Zelda games. Did you play any of the other Zelda games that released on the 3DS, out of curiosity?
Remind me what ones there are.
Only really A Link Between Worlds and Triforce Heroes. Did you play either of
Yeah,
those?
no, I played none of them.
Oh man, you cut me real deep here, Kai. But I'll just quickly say that A Link Between Worlds is hands down the best 2D Zelda game. It is fantastic, and I would take a Switch port of that any day. The music alone, god tier stuff, but it's just they perfected the formula down. So that's a great way to play. And Triforce Heroes, I think, gets a little bit of a bad rep, but if you get three friends to play together to play it, it's really fun. Wi-Fi problems notwithstanding, but we're Nintendo fans. We are used to that. That's part of our bread and bread and butter. You know, I mean, we've had Wi-Fi problems recording the stream, so we're well versed in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's great fun. And even though you can't communicate with each other through voice chat, the fact you have to like message through these like ridiculous emotes like Link cheerleading and that's actually part of the fun. Yeah, it really adds the charm of the game. It's really great fun. But onto something you definitely have played, Kai. Pokemon. What about the Pokemon
yeah.
3DS entries?
So I'm guessing you haven't played any of these, have you?
I have played Y. I beat it. Not
Okay.
much else, but I did play Y.
Alright, fair enough. So on the 3DS, I believe the games we got were for the mainstream games. You had Pokemon XY, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. So that's
And a partridge
pretty
in a
much,
pear tree.
and a partridge in a pear tree. Basically, Gen 6 and Gen 7 on the 3DS. And I've played at least one entry in all of those different sets of games, and I enjoyed all of them. They were all like really fun. I know there's a lot of backlash about like the 3D models existing and how people prefer the 2D sprites. And to be honest, I fully understand that, but
Yeah.
I feel like 3D models were the way to really evolve the Pokemon series, so it wasn't feeling outdated. I'm guessing that's the approach they went for, and I get that. And
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed all the games. I really liked how the 3D models evolved, because even XY didn't have like the best models, but by the time you get to like Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they really sort of knew what they were doing with some of the cutscenes they did and that sort of thing. So
I've not played them. Like, I was just gonna say, I've heard that Sun and Moon pushed the system quite a bit, and they're quite technically impressive for the 3DS, supposedly.
Yeah, I thought Sun and Moon were great. They were really fun.
My experience with Y, and like I said, I'm not a big Pokemon fan, so I never really get much out of the games. It felt quite safe. It felt kind of unmemorable. It wasn't bad. It's just wasn't.
You've got Gen 6 right. That's correct.
Yeah, it's sort of just nothing horrible. It's not big controversy about it like Gen 8, which about removing stuff or anything. It's kind of there and it exists. And I remember like the legendary was so easy to catch, which kind of felt a bit anticlimactic. It was just I don't remember much of it, which I think says enough. But I still had a decent time with it. I'm really the wrong person to talk about this. Kai, save me.
Pokemon, good. Gen 6 and 7, good. One thing that was really good that they need to bring back real quick. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you could ride on Latios and Latias, depending on the game. And it was like a full-on, like, you could ride in the overworld on them, and then, like, land at whatever town you wanted to go to, or route. Oh, that was so much fun. Like, why is that not back? Come on, Game Freak.
We're getting open world Pokemon at some point. Maybe we'll have some sort of similar mechanics. But
that would be nice. Would be real nice.
Flying mounts would be awesome in Pokemon. I mean,
yeah. Like, why not?
Absolutely. But let's move on from Pokemon, Kai. Let's turn over a new leaf here. Animal Crossing.
Okay.
You put a lot of time into Animal Crossing? I know I did.
I did on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
Did
you play the
3DS? I did.
Version.
It was a bit of a weird one for the 3DS because I played it and I didn't like the way I looked. Was the main thing.
Oh, it's so annoying how it's limited your character customization. Yeah, that sucks.
It was a bit of a weird one for me because I replayed it like 3 times, and each time I would play it for the first like week or so and I'd really enjoy it, and then I'd just be like, I don't really want to play this anymore. But I think that's more of like a personal preference thing than anything. But I did play it on and off quite a bit, so it was a good one. It was a really solid entry in the series.
It made a lot of big improvements from DS, I think, and that not just in simple power, but the whole idea of being the mayor was neat. It introduced Isabelle, who's of course a fan favorite character now, who's in Smash, which is great, ridiculous but great. Cursed out fishing rod, but
oh yeah.
But it was I only put like 50 hours into it, and I'm at like 150 or something on the Switch. I think the big difference for Switch was that I had friends to play it with, so
right.
That was what I ended up putting my hours into, and why I prefer New Horizons overall, of course. But I still think New Leaf, did a lot right, and I have some good memories of it. And they had stuff like Island Tour, which the Switch version could use, so.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
There's still some things New Leaf could learn. No, New Horizons could learn from New Leaf. Look, they've put New in both of these games. Nintendo like putting New in their video game titles, don't they? But
They sure do for Animal Crossing, at least.
oh yeah, but we're sort of running low on games to talk about, I think. But there's a few more holding out. One of which, Luigi's Mansion 2. Did you play that game, Kai?
I never did play Luigi's Mansion Dark 2. No, Dark
Oh,
Moon.
Dark 2, yes.
Dark 2. Amazing.
Did you play 3 on Switch out of curiosity?
No, I've never played a Luigi's Mansion game before. I'm looking forward to it
Interesting.
eventually, but I've just never really got around to it.
It's pretty good. You know, it's for some reason I find with Luigi's Mansion, they're the kind of games where I never can be bothered to go back to them for some reason. And I'm not sure why. But I play it once, I'm like, this is great. And I start to replay and I'm like, so moving on. But I don't know why, but it's... I mean, you are a big fan of next level games. So you know the personality they put into their games and the characterization. And Luigi, they
I
nailed
very
that.
much so like that game, yeah. I like Dark Moon because apparently the elevator music is the music from Mario Strikers.
Is it? I didn't know that.
The elevator music is the pause music from Strikers Charged on the Wii. Yeah,
that's awesome. that is really cool. I mean, they are masters at creating atmosphere, and Luigi's just calling out Mario and being a complete wuss. It's relatable, you know. I'm a wuss too, Luigi. Mario.
Relatable.
But yeah, it's a solid entry, and it's good to see that the series came back after, what was it, like 10 years, 15 years? I don't know. Been a long time. But one more game, one of the big games, I think it was the first one that was ever revealed for the 3DS. And it's a game series we haven't seen in a while now. Kid Icarus Uprising. Did you play this, Kai?
Nope. I really want to. Trust me, I really, really want to.
Oh, Kai, you're killing me here.
I was too busy playing level 5 games. I can't help it.
Oh, of course, Layton. You know, I'll let you talk about Layton in a bit. Then I'll give you that chance. But Kid Icarus, man, it's so damn good. I borrowed it from a friend, and I actually bought it for myself for the first time a year ago or so. Before the woes of lockdown, I brought it, and it's just great. It's the personality in Pit and Palutena, and the humour's perfect. The flying sections are incredible. If they could just release this on the Switch with some better controls, because that's an understandable complaint, man, this would do so well. And I would make you pick it up. I would physically force you to. I don't think I'd need to. I'm sure you'd be interested anyway. But
no, I want to. Yeah, I really want to get around to it.
It's such a great game, and I do admit, when I went to replay it last year, I never finished it, partly because I like gaming on my Switch now. You know, 3DS is it's old news, I'm afraid, but it's still a good game. It's still really fun, and it just needs that slight push again on the Switch, and I would eat it up in a heartbeat, or just a sequel. You know, give us a sequel. But Sakurai's forever
Please,
tied to
Nintendo.
Smash.
Sakurai, please. Oh, no.
You'll get DLC Pack 3, Kai, and you will like it. That's all you're getting. But
okay. Rip.
I mean, I will like that, but I also wish for Kid Icarus. But I'll let you have your moment to shine then, Kai. Talk to me a bit about Layton, because I haven't played the 3DS entries.
Well, yeah, Layton. So, yeah, of course, there's 6 games in like the main 2 trilogies. We don't talk about Catrail's Mystery Journey. We had 6 Layton games. The first 4 of them were on the regular DS, so we won't talk about those. But the last 2, being Miracle Mask and Azran Legacy, were both on the 3DS, with like 3D models and that sort of thing. And I never played Azran Legacy. Again, that's another one that I really want to get round to, because I don't know about any of the puzzles or anything. But oh man,
I'm
Miracle
surprised.
Mask is amazing. Yeah, I really want to get round to it, but I've been busy with other things and playing other games, so.
Yeah.
But I want to play it at some point.
What does it do with what's the big upgrade from the DS versions to the 3DS games? What sort of anything big improvements on there?
So one of the main things is the fact that everything's like 3D models now, rather than having like a blank screen where you of art essentially, where you click on things to interact with them. You can actually move around the screen like a little bit to get a different view, which is nice.
It's cool.
As well as that, a couple of the different like new puzzles are really innovative using the 3D. All the models are 3D now, so that's like a visual upgrade. A lot of people would say. But Miracle Mask is such a good game. I really enjoy the music in it and everything.
I was about to say that. I know you've used the music in the game you made.
Yeah.
With RPG Maker, and I was like, damn, this is good stuff. So if they release like a Switch collection, but nope, you're gonna get Catrail's Mystery Journey, and you're gonna like it. That's
it's such a bad entry in the series.
It's a shame that's the only one that's made its way to the Switch. But like they've done a collection of like Phoenix Wright games and stuff. Maybe Layton is something that's being considered because it would do well. But
please,
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Have you got any more DS? Have you got any more games, Kye, you want to mention?
I suppose on the topic of level 5 games, there's also the Inazuma 11 second trilogy, because they go in trilogies as well. That was all on the Switch. Sorry, not on the Switch, the 3DS, goddammit. I wish they were on the Switch. But yeah, they had almost exactly the same visual upgrade that they had in the Layton games. Like it's the exact same type of 3D model, because of course it's the same company. So that was also really cool to see, and I really enjoyed those and how they upgraded all the visuals and everything. Because a couple of the in the first trilogy of games, I loved them to bits, but some of the 3D models are really, really bad. So it's nice to see that they were improved in Inazuma 11 Go and Go Chrono Stones. So
yeah, that's. I mean, I've never tried out Inazuma 11, but if I'm gonna make you play Skyward Sword, I'm sure you have a right to make me play those games. So maybe one day. And if that Switch game comes out, I'll give it a look. Hopefully, we can dream. But the last game I think I want to talk about here is one of the last games to come out for it. It's sort of the final. I don't want to say nail in the 3DS's coffin, because it's a great game, and that's Samus Returns. Did you get to try this out, Kye?
Nope.
We have very different catalogues here, but I think that's one of the things that's great about the 3DS is there is so much. We're talking about so many games, and we haven't played half of the ones each other have. I think that just goes to show such a great collection of games the 3DS had. But yeah, Samus Returns was our first Metroid game since, not counting Federation Force, let's overlook that one, since Other M, and people want to overlook that one too. So the fact that we got a great Metroid game that plays really well, has this interesting counter move, looks great, and really does good things with the 3D, despite the fact a lot of games had dropped 3D by this point. It really creates the atmosphere of the planet, and it's just a really, really fun Metroid edition. I'd love to see I think it's Mercury Steam who make it. I'd love to see them port that over to the Switch, or make a new Switch game, 2D Metroid, in the long wait for Prime 4. So it was good to see the franchise still kicking. But yeah, I think that's probably a good point to leave it. I mean, we haven't even talked about some games like Kirby, or there's so much more on this system.
There's a ton, yeah.
10 years is a long time to collect games, and I can safely say I've more than got my money's worth out of this.
Yeah.
It's 10 years, man. I'm still reeling over that. That is insane. But we may be onto the Switch now. We may have moved on and be wanting. We got to that point when things were coming out on the 3DS and people were like, "Why bring it on the Switch?" But we won't forget the Switch had some really, really great stuff there on there. All right, Kye, give me your personal favorite 3DS game.
Xenoblade 3D. I don't have a choice.
You know what? I'm going to say Ocarina of Time 3D. I think Xenoblade might be up there, but because of Definitive Edition usurping it, I think I'm going to say Ocarina of Time 3D. But
what about not including ports? I feel like ports is slightly cheating for both of us. What do you think?
Oh, that's not including ports. I'm tempted by Smash Bros, but I'm going to say A Link Between Worlds. Actually, it's a really great Zelda entry, and it's so much fun. Like the music alone carries it. Nice. So, what about you, Kye? What about you?
Honestly, I don't know why I asked, because I don't know. Probably, I don't know, probably like, because of recency bias, because I've been playing a lot of Professor Layton recently, I might say Miracle Mask, but
Yeah,
I think the
that's fair.
Pokemon games as a collective would probably be my real answer.
Hmm. Well, that's understandable. Yeah, they are quite well loved, especially Sun and Moon. I hear a lot of love for. But
Yeah.
that pretty much brings us to the end. I mean, there's not much to talk about. You know, the play tracking app, that was great. I wish I had that on the Switch. I put way too many hours into Internet Explorer because that's before I had a smartphone. But that's how I got
the Pokemon anime channel, believe it or not. That oh wait, can we talk about that real quick? They had
Let's go. 2-hour discussion.
Okay, real quick. They had like 5 or 6 seasons of Pokemon on there. They had
It's weird,
they
right?
had the first 3 seasons of Inazuma 11 anime on there that you couldn't find anywhere else. It cost 110 quid on Amazon to buy the 3rd season. They had okay, the rant over, but that was amazing. They discontinued it, but
So long story short, 3DS good. But
Yes.
thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and watching our very much ramblings on the 3DS and all its games. It's been a great 10 years, and who knows? Well, we were talking about the Switch's 10-year anniversary. That will be a mad moment, won't it? Oh my jeez.
that would be weird.
I don't want to think about that. We're getting old. But but thank you so much for watching. And again, please feel free to leave your favourite 3DS game or your favourite memory of the 3DS in the comments. We'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are. And stay tuned to BunchaJokahs for more videos. We've got a monthly podcast. We've got our gameplay series of Trine and any other extra content and coverage of news that comes out. So please stay tuned, stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.